Hello, it's 8:30 something in the morning, and we're here with Lindy.
Hello.
The founder, I want to say,
Sure.
owner, founder, baker, about Rhodo Bagels here in Lisbon, and she's going to share a bit of her story.
I missed bagels when I moved here.
Right, you were doing pop-ups before.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but it started at home. I was making bagels for friends.
Okay.
It was my family's tradition in Christmas Day.
Okay.
My stepdad, when he came and became part of the family, he brought the bagel tradition on Christmas morning. So when I was stuck here during Christmas, unable to go home, my friends and I would have Christmas together.
Or
COVID and before then, when I was waiting for my
your permit?
residence
Okay.
permit. So we would all bring our kind of
So
tradition
it's a
together.
family tradition.
A bit, well, not making them, buying them. Buying them at home, but since I
Fair
couldn't
enough.
buy them here,
Right, you
couldn't-
had to.
Yeah, so to me. Also, I always loved to bake.
Okay.
So it was a
And you're from the US. We're from the US.
New Hampshire, very northeast,
North,
tiny state.
east. Okay. It's close to New York? No.
Yeah, ish. Like
Ish? Okay.
4 hours north of New York.
But this tradition of bagels is like very popular in the US? Or is it more like depends on the state or?
Depends on the state. In the
Okay.
Northeast, generally, bagels are just a big part of life. I think I didn't realize so much until I moved away how often I ate bagels. It's just they're everywhere all the time.
All right. And bagels, it's like, where does it come from? I have no clue. I think it's Jewish.
Yeah.
Cut it if it's not
Yeah.
good, like it's Jewish, no?
Yeah, they're traditionally
Don't cut
like
it.
Jewish food, originated in Poland, and then Jewish immigrants brought the bagels to the US.
In Poland,
Yeah, originally.
of all places. That's hilarious.
And became very popular
Okay.
with Jewish immigrants in New York specifically. So that's why New York is kind of like the bagel
famous for
capital.
bagels.
Yeah.
Right. So you kind of taught yourself to make bagels.
Yep.
Okay.
Hobby at first, but then once I started taking it seriously, it was
Okay.
making bagels like crazy. I studied marketing and then was working as a personal shopper and stylist for years when I was still living in the US. And I lived very briefly in New York and then was living in Boston for a while.
Okay.
So Boston was where I was at for
Personal
my
shopper.
time. Yeah.
Wow.
It was a strange
I've
job.
I've never had a personal shop. Sounds kind of cool though.
Now I have a true shopping addiction though, because I was used to that and I have no one to shop for but myself, so a bit dangerous.
And him.
And him, of
Well,
course.
toys.
Some accessories. Then I moved abroad. I was living in Thailand before I lived here and I started teaching English.
In
So,
Thailand.
yeah.
How come?
I had a friend who was living there, so I
Okay.
went to visit her and then ended up staying for a year and a half. And after that was like, I don't want to go back to the US. I
Right,
think there's something to this.
And this was what, 10 years ago?
Yeah,
More?
I guess,
10,
10 years.
15 years ago.
Makes me feel very old.
Tell me about it. Welcome to the club. How old are you?
I'm 34.
Oh, come on. You're so young. Oh my God.
No, you can't be
I'm 38.
older. No. Oh, time flies.
It's a baby face. Okay, so Thailand, then you came here?
Yes. Went
From
home
Thailand,
for like a little bit to figure
chill.
out where I'm going.
It's good to have this existential crisis.
Yeah.
It's good to
It's
have
true.
it. But
That
I've had
really
it so
is what
many
it was.
times.
Yeah.
And it's really positive because it brings out something that you didn't know you had in you.
Yeah.
And
it's
you're
true.
actually following what you want to do. Like, okay, for you it was, I don't want to be back in the US.
Yeah.
For me, it was the same. Like, I don't want to be back in Peru. I love Peru and everything, but like, I want to see the world and see what's out there. That's I'm not judging. If a lot of people think it's very bizarre. Not because it's Portugal. It's more like, why does someone decide to move to?
Yeah. Research.
So far
I had
also.
like the certain criteria of
Yeah.
what I wanted in a place.
So you chose Portugal.
Yeah, for sure.
Ah.
Yeah. It was a definite
Hey.
choice. yeah, I knew I wanted to live in a city small enough where I wouldn't need a car, like walkable, would be able to meet people. So also
Nice.
a place with like young energy, not all retirees, which some places I was looking at were.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, beautiful.
Okay.
And nice weather. It reminds me a little bit, my hometown is on a river and near the ocean. So something felt a little bit familiar.
Let's go, how do you say, fast forward? You came to Portugal and what did you do?
I was teaching English online then
But
for 3 years when I was here, which it was never my
that was your
end
actually
game.
paying job?
Yes.
Okay, so you were teaching English.
Yeah.
For 3 years.
For
That's a long
3
time.
years for very cute little kids in China. All of my students were in China.
Oh, really?
I was here. Like, this is very cute. But was not what I ever set out to do. It was meant to do.
It was like a temporary...
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Probably came 2020.
Crazy ideas start. But I can't be the only person that misses bagels.
Right.
So let's give it a shot.
So it came from nostalgia.
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
That's cool.
Miss them. Miss the
That's
whole,
pretty.
I don't know, culture around it.
Right. Food is amazing, right? Food really connects people.
But there are so many memories tied
Of
to
course.
it.
When you started, the bagels were good.
I thought they were, but sometimes I see pictures and I'm like, oh my God, I sold that bagel. Embarrassing.
Okay.
But, so, you know, it takes some improvement.
Oh, really?
For sure. I think I took like 4 months testing recipes and then I made an Instagram page.
Right.
I was, just selling from my home, out my door on Instagram in the beginning.
Really?
And doing home deliveries for a while or meeting people in the park with my bag of bagels.
That's really cool.
Kind of funny.
How did you get the word out there? Because you meet a lot of
Happened.
people, right? You're very social. I think so, no?
This has made me so much more social, but
Right.
I am a homebody. I'm not really like that social.
Okay. Because I
Santos
remember seeing your
Collective
name
Market.
before we even met.
Okay.
Because this was the first time I tried your bagels.
Yeah.
I know you were doing the pop-ups in Comida Independente,
Yes.
right? And you were doing but I knew your name or the brand. So that must have means that...
Been a long time.
Yeah.
Been out there for a while.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
yeah.
You know,
Just
okay.
Markets.
So you were doing the pop-ups and then you said, now's the time.
Now's the time. Yeah.
You didn't know what to do with your life, so to speak? Or what made you the
Basically.
push to... Because opening a food business is it's no Disney World, huh?
Yeah.
People think it's fun and glamorous and this and that. They only see the fun part, but they don't see all the sacrifice. I think in a country like Portugal, to open a business must be, I don't know, you correct me if I'm wrong, must be like so much bureaucracy and
It was a lot.
time consuming and...
I never allowed myself to think that hard about it, which is probably terrible advice.
But I mean, it's a great mindset.
I had to like power through because it was either that or what. I knew teaching wasn't what I wanted to do. I'd kind of been waiting to come up with the idea, you know, what I wanted to be doing. And it felt really right when I started Rhodo. It felt like, yes, this is my business. This is what I want to be doing, need to be doing.
Can I give purpose to...
For sure.
To you,
yeah,
like,
it's
right to your
like,
life.
this is it. So, sorry to go. So,
Sleeping is fine.
Yeah, he's peaceful. Just had to like go forward with it, not allow myself to freak out thinking about it, because I just thought, if it's not this, what else would it be? Yeah, this is it.
Okay, and it's only you doing this, right? Like you're your only partner, and
it's good and it's bad, but yeah.
So a little bit about the actual bagels itself, because a lot of people don't know that, which is fair enough. They don't see all the work behind a certain food product.
Yeah.
First of all, you start the dough 2 days before.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the process.
Okay. It is an intensive multi-step process. So we've let it ferment for 48 hours. Some bagel shops do 24. We go for 48 to have more depth of
Flavor, exactly, 100%.
More like
yeah.
Going towards sourdough, even though we do use yeast. But yeah, so it ferments for 48 hours. And then on the morning of, every morning before opening, the bagels, the dough is cut, formed into a bagel shape, and then go into a pot of boiling water with organic barley malt. And that gives it tiny bit of sweetness, but
which
the
is
sugar
necessary,
also,
of course, to balance the yeasty flavor and everything.
And also helps to crystallize, and then with the boiling, crystallize and make the chewy texture that sets apart the bagel from. If you put it directly in the oven, it's gonna crust up like a typical bread. But the boiling it is really essential to make it the bagel texture.
I had no idea.
That's why they're like really tough. Should fight back with you a little bit.
Okay.
Then they're topped with the seeds, whatever toppings, and then
you have sesame seeds,
poppy seeds,
jalapeno cheddar, which is my favorite. So delicious. And then what else you have?
What else do we have? Garlic and everything, which is all of the seeds, salt, and what else? Salt, garlic, all of the seeds. It's amazing.
Okay. So 2-day process, and you discovered this? That 48 hours was something you knew, or you discovered along the way by trying?
By trying. I think at first I was doing 48 hours.
Yeah.
And then after trial and error, I tried many different different variations, different fermentation lengths.
Because when you started, it was you baking and you doing everything.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Now you have Maha that helps you. That we're gonna see. Bagel King.
Yes.
Write that down. Okay.
He's the pro.
So you make the dough, 48 hours in the fridge. You take it out. You shape. You weigh it. You shape it. Set it aside. Boil it.
Let them rise a bit.
Let them rise a little bit.
Boil.
Topping. Bake.
Yes.
Ready to go.
Ready.
Voila. That's what you see, guys. You know? He starts 6:30 in the morning. 5 days a week.
Yes.
And maybe 7, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
You're looking
soon.
for someone maybe.
By the time this comes out, 7 days a week. So you see these
for
bakers?
March, you said, right? You want to be for March. Okay.
Yeah, it's been now a year and a half open. It's time to be open 7 days a week, I think.
Okay, cool.
Kind of a mix. So in the US, it's not typical to have fillings. You have the bagel and schmear. You have like the cream cheese and the bagel. I would say the only other variations are bacon, egg, and cheese, super popular, and lox. Lox is especially more popular New York region.
Okay.
But other than that, like having a
lox is salmon, right? It's like
cured salmon.
Cured salmon.
But it's not very typical. So that was a little bit of adapting to the market. Also, I love making recipes. It's fun.
Yeah,
you get to be creative. So I wanted to have more options.
Okay. Is that something that you felt that Lisbon needed? Or it was something like, okay, this is the way I like to eat and I will just do it like this and people will catch up?
It was for Lisbon. It was for...
Because there was no one doing bagels before, right? Not like this anyway. Maybe like normal
maybe different style. But I was realizing every time I told people, I make bagels, the first question is, what are your fillings? Which at first I didn't even understand. Like, what do you mean fillings? The bagel. But I quickly realized, no, if I want. That's what people want.
Which one is your favorite?
Probably smoked carrot. I love this one.
We haven't tried that one. Okay.
Yeah, it's like the vegetarian lox version.
Because you're a vegetarian, correct?
Yeah. Yes. I don't think a New Yorker has ever been here and not announced the fact that they are from New York. Love to you all.
You find it annoying?
I find it to be cute. I love when people come up to me. A lot of people come up to me or ask for me, and most of the actually I think all of the time it's positive. I'm from New York. and this was a really amazing bagel. So of course I love it. That's so kind to go out
it
of your
is,
way
it
to
is, it
say
is.
that. The negative comments only come in the Google reviews, if anything.
Never
People-
face to face.
No, never. So I don't love it, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
You're always gonna have some good, some bad.
Yeah.
And one thing that I do like to say is I'm not trying to be a New York
not.
bagel.
Of course not. We're in Lisbon, right? It's a different continent, it's a different country, different crowd, different clientele.
different style.
It's your style.
These are my style. It's what I like.
Doesn't say
I
New York
spent
bagels
a
on the
lot of
fucking-
time
Yeah.
making the recipe as I like it, and perhaps controversial, but I think New York bagels. When I went recently, some are great, but my takeaway was I really like my bagels, which is great. Truly. So,
You're very proud.
yeah, I feel like worked hard. They have a lot of flavor and
Yeah.
good texture, maybe a bit lighter. I think New York bagels are kind of more spongy and dense,
Okay.
where ours are a bit lighter. So, take it or leave it. But I'm proud of my bagels.
It's good though. You have to be. What is the fluffer nutter? That's the most.
Fantastic.
When I
name.
saw, I mean, it's funny. I don't even know what it means.
Yeah, the very Massachusetts thing. So the
Okay,
region where
okay.
I'm from, they have a famous sandwich where you take peanut butter and it's like PB&J, except instead of jelly, you use marshmallow fluff, which I don't know.
I know
It's
marshmallow,
not
but
everyone's
marshmallow
familiar.
fluff, I don't know what it
It
is.
comes in a jar. It will last forever and ever because it has so many preservatives and weird shit in there. We make our marshmallow fluff from scratch without all the weird, gross stuff.
Right.
But it's just like very gooey, sweet, a childhood kind of
It's
classic.
sugar and what else?
It
Egg
is
white? No.
egg white,
Yeah.
sugar, and cream of tartar to fluff.
Ah, so it's a meringue.
Yeah, actually, it's made
Basically.
the same way as Italian meringue.
And then peanut butter goes at the bottom or what?
Peanut butter at the bottom, and then we toast the.
You flame it a little bit?
Yeah.
Ah.
It's not for everyone, but I think everyone
Super
needs to
sweet?
try it once. Yeah,
Ah,
it
yeah?
is.
I saw Justin had it. We will come tomorrow with Justin. The beast. 7 days a week, hopefully.
Yeah.
Soon. And then maybe a new one or no?
I would love to,
Yeah.
if it's the right spot. This place is the heart and soul, so I
Right,
can
right.
imagine this will always be that. But I would love to do a little like takeaway shop because that's really bagels are the perfect food for that. So
Yeah.
I'd love to find like a little
True
takeaway
that.
window somewhere else in the city so people can just like stop by,
Stop
grab
by
their bagel on the go. But
Mm.
finding a spot,
It's not easy
it's not
nowadays,
easy,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Rhodo is short for rhododendron, which is, it's a type of flower or plant that it was everywhere in my hometown. We had them outside my family home and kind of an inside joke with my family, to be honest.
Okay. You didn't, I don't know, I saw recently, 2 weeks ago or something, I think you held an event here. Someone was filming you, I don't know who it was, and you said that you're forever awkward on camera.
I am really
You remember
awkward on camera.
you remember what I mean? Do you feel you're awkward?
Yes. Yes, all the time. Everyone knows I'm awkward. I just embrace it now. I like talking with people, but yeah,
Not in
always
front of
get
a
a little
camera.
well, even in person, I'm still
Oh, really?
awkward. I
Me
think so.
too.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is. So, we talked about the bagels. Your favorite is the smoked carrots.
Yeah.
What's in it?
Smoked carrots, capers, and nori.
And what? Cream cheese? No, not
Cream
no,
cheese, yes.
Cream cheese,
Cream-
yes.
There's cream cheese on almost all of the
Right,
bagels.
right.
To me, that is can't have a bagel
Yeah,
without cream
no, of
cheese.
course.
So.
It's so delicious. And in terms of coffee, you have specialty coffee as well,
Yes.
right? From where?
We use coffee from Senzu.
In
Really
Porto.
nice. In Porto,
Porto,
yeah.
right? A lot of people use that actually. It's,
It's
really,
really
really
great,
good.
really
yeah,
great.
it's really, really good.
Yeah, and sometimes we'll bring in other roasters to have for our batch brew or V60. But yeah, the coffee is really important to me because so much love and attention goes into the bagels
100%.
and the products we
It
use.
has to be on the
buyers.
same level,
It's
right?
gotta be, yeah.
Is it typical in the US to eat bagels with coffee or no?
Yes.
Yes.
For sure.
Because it's a breakfast thing?
Yep. It's much more breakfast thing at home. something I learned after opening here is how much people interpret it as a lunch rather than a breakfast.
Right.
So we get a lot of lunch customers.
Because it's
lunch
big,
rush.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, but you know.
I mean, it's not a bad thing, but it's not a typical, I guess, for Portugal to eat like a
Yeah.
massive.
I think it's
Not massive, but it's quite
Different.
substantial.
it is.
You eat one and
You're
like,
super cool. I need a
you're
nap.
good. Yeah, exactly. You're good for the rest of the day. But you also sell wine,
Yes.
or not anymore?
Oh, we
Yeah,
do.
you do, okay.
But that's mostly because I love wine. So I wanted to have some here. And I mean, who doesn't want a glass of
Yeah.
wine with their bagel in the afternoon?
I would come
Why
here
not?
to
Yeah.
just drink wine and hang out. It's
Yeah.
so fun in the afternoon when the sun starts coming in.
Exactly.
And you actually have a super lively vibe here. Very vibrant.
Oh, thanks.
You don't think so?
I hope so.
No,
I
not
mean,
now.
that's what I
This-
want to.
It's gonna open now, but
create,
like at 2
yeah.
p.m., 3 p.m.,
vibe.
it's like really a lot of you have different crowds. Portuguese, people that don't live here, people that do live here but are not
Yeah.
Portuguese. It's like very
Yeah, it's true.
eclectic. That is very down to earth.
Ah.
You know, some places in Lisbon are like. I don't want to talk about prices, but when a little bit on the higher price point, they tend to be a little bit snobbish,
Yeah.
and I don't like
No,
that.
that's
You know,
for me. It
Like-
was very important for it to feel homey, everyone to feel welcome.
welcome exactly.
Yeah, I love style and design, so I wanted it to be
Yeah.
cool, but I also want it to be like very much just you're walking into someone's home, everyone
Yeah.
feels welcome.
Can you show us your T-shirts
Yes.
a little bit?
Which okay,
That's your favorite?
I mean it's the bagel pun. Love a good bagel pun.
It's very, I don't know what's the word, provocative. I like it because I am like that.
I called it the Sassy collection.
Exactly.
I was in a mood when I came up with all of these. We don't have to go into that.
Slightly
but-
offensive, but whatever.
Exactly.
No,
We have the
no.
middle finger bagel.
Why bimbo? What do you have against bimbos?
It's the basic bread, like the most basic bread in the supermarket.
Ah,
But yes, there's
I thought
also
you were
the
talking
double.
about that.
There you go. There's
that's why I'm like, okay.
it's a bit of both. A bit of both.
The cookies.
The cookies.
So you have 2 types now, or 3, or 1?
2 types. Yep.
The
miso
chocolate chip.
and the matcha cookies.
Okay, which have a shitload of sugar and butter,
Tons of butter.
which is the secret to all desserts and baked sweets. Is it your recipes?
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just as proud of the cookies
Yeah, they're amazing.
as the bagels. That
They're
was
amazing.
my big goal. I like to put miso on everything. It's my favorite ingredient.
Which miso?
I
which
use
type?
red miso paste.
Red.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay.
I think as
You make it?
vegetarian, just having like the savory umami,
Right.
it really adds. So I knew I wanted to do a chocolate chip cookie with miso. Since I was young, I always wanted to make the best chocolate chip cookie. This was my goal. I was making them all the time. But to be honest, hate writing recipes. I experiment a lot and don't write things down. So
Okay.
my cookies were all over the place. And then when we opened here, I was
Like,
like,
you have
okay,
to get my
I
shit
guess
together.
I need to write it down. And got it down. So lots
Okay.
of trials and then came up with
Are you gonna make a new cookie flavor or no?
I would love to, and I'd like to bring back Pop Tarts. For a while, we
Oh,
were
you don't have
doing
it
like
anymore?
the fancy Pop Tarts. No, honestly, it was a lot of work to keep up with.
Yeah.
I was the only one making that.
Right, right.
Not the only one, but I was the only one writing the recipes,
Ah.
and it was taking too much of my time. You know, I'm trying to focus on growing the business,
Right.
and so yeah, need a pastry chef. Send your
Anyone
CVs.
out there? What is a Pop Tart for people that don't know what is a Pop Tart?
Is another childhood food. Clearly, I have a thing for nostalgia and nostalgic foods and taking things that I loved as a kid and then taking all the gross ingredients out, making them kind of
Fresh,
next level.
nice,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's a pastry. Ours is made with a pastry crust, and then it's filled usually with some sort of jam or some sort of sweet filling.
Okay.
And traditionally, they go on the toaster to warm up, but they're kind of like almost a cross between a cookie and a pastry.
Okay. But the dough is really buttery?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. butter, cream cheese, flour.
Cream
We
cheese.
use cream cheese to moisten it as well and bind it.
That's why it caramelizes so beautifully. I know Justin loves those. He had me buy, remember?
Yes.
When he was in the US, he
Yeah.
said, oh bro, can you...
I was afraid
Freeze it
for him
and-
to come back from the US because I knew I had to break the news to him that we weren't doing Pop-Tarts anymore. So I was like, I'm sorry, Justin.
One
This
thing.
is when the awkwardness
Yes,
comes
so,
out.
too much pressure.
I don't know.
Okay, but what is your best memory? Or one like
My best
good memory
memory,
about
okay.
being here?
I
on
guess
Rhodo?
one thing I will say is, as someone who is a homebody, I've always been like
What does that mean?
homebody. I like to keep to myself, introvert.
Ah, okay.
And,
Homebody.
Shy, I guess. Always thought of myself as opening this place has forced me out of my shell to connect with so many people. And I realized I've actually liked people. It's a great realization. I really had fun
Okay, that's
in
cool.
meeting so many really kind, amazing people. I think also service industry. It's tough, and sometimes people are tough with you, not always the nicest.
Customers, you mean?
Customers, I think that was what I thought going into it. And after having opened, I've just realized how incredibly lovely everyone is.
Yeah.
And it's kind of brought out this new love for people and meeting people, made me more social.
Okay, cool. I think we're good now.
Thank you so much for coming. So hopping right back to it.
You're very
It was so
welcome.
fun.
Thank
And,
you, Lindy. And
I'll see you
we
tomorrow.
wish you all the best, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you so much for coming.
You're very well. Opa. Of cookie, then.
Can I grab it?
Yeah, please go. Left. He likes to go to the left.
I'll just go like pee on something and come back.
I thought you were here for like 4 years.
It feels like 4 years, but COVID, those are the lost years.
Yeah,
Like hardly counts.
it was
Locked up
fun
inside.
though. No, not fun. No, cut that.
I had a good time. The lock-ins, I mean, come on.
I was in Denmark. I had a really fucking good time.
And then on the morning of, every morning before opening,
Second time.